Good morning. I know I speak for... Perfect. Sana, do you want to sit down? Sana? Good morning. It is a perfect testament to Natalie that the rain has cleared and that her graveside would be underneath a tree to protect you from the sun, so that you're all comfortable and taken care of, even in a moment where we want to remember her. Shiviti Adonai lenedi tamid ki mimini balemot lechen samach libi yagel kevodi af besari yishkon lavetach ki lo tazov nafshi lishol lo titen chasidcha lirot shachem Tudini urachayim Svasmachot et panacha Ne'emot b'mincha nitzach Shiviti Adonai lenedi tamid Ki mimini balemot. I have set the eternal always before me. God is at my side. I shall not be moved. Therefore does my heart exult and my soul rejoice. My being is secure. For you will not abandon me to death, nor let your faithful ones see destruction. You show me the path of life. No worries. Your presence brings fullness of joy. Enduring happiness is your gift. Psalm 16. If you know this psalm after I chant the first bit, please feel free to join with me. Adonai roi lo echsar B'inot dashan yibartzeni Alamay menuchot yenaleni. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil, my cup runs over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time for every purpose under heaven. That is from Ecclesiastes 3. There is a season for everything, a time for every experience under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot what is planted, a time to tear down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to grieve and a time to dance, a time to throw stones and a time to gather stones, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek, a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to discard, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silent and a time to speak. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose under heaven. We have a list of readers, and then at the end, anyone who would like to add their voice with a memory of our beloved Natalie. Julia, Sana, Bruce, Anne, Ruth, Maureen, and Susan. And if you forget your order, don't worry. We will boss you around. We invite forward Natalie's dear friend Joy first.
When Natalie died, I did not have the space to truly mourn her death or think about much about the ways that she affected my life and what it would be like without her in it. I am glad to have the opportunity to do so now as we are nearing the 1-year anniversary. When I first met Natalie, I thought, oh, she is a force. She had a lot of opinions about a lot of things. And as they were often presented as facts, I, of course, had to believe them and adopt them as gospel. And just to name a few, you should always keep your car keys separate from your house keys. Something to do with the weight of all the keys and the ignition or something. But what did I know? I didn't even own a car until I was well into my middle age. And Natalie was from the Motor City. So, of course, Natalie must be right. I only doubted her wisdom when I recently lost my car key and decided that wouldn't have happened if all my keys were on one ring. Okay, but several months ago, when I lost my house keys, I was glad my car key was separate, so I was able to get home. So you see, Natalie was, of course, right. Next, when watering potted plants, always water them twice to give the first round a chance to sink in first. Great advice. I only wish Natalie's houseplant expertise and enthusiasm had transferred over to being my partner in our backyard design and maintenance. Especially, but no luck. However, her preferred color palette for the yard ruled, and it's only during the last few years I've snuck in some yellow flowers, not her favorite. And well-pressed clothes are necessary to make a favorable impression on the outside world. Witness the ironing board that was a near-permanent fixture in the Goldenrod's dining room. And Natalie, unlike many, put her money where her mouth was. Once when we were going to a party, she informed me my shirt was wrinkled and needed ironing. I suggested if my wrinkles bothered her so much, she iron it. And you know what? She did. When Robin and Natalie and I all bought our 2-flat together more than 30 years ago, my life really changed, and for the better. I got to live in a building that felt like a house rather than an apartment. I got to have a yard. But mostly, I got to have neighbors who became my family. I have been lucky, I might even say blessed, to have close friends all of my life, whom I could count on for fun, comfort, companionship, and for help and understanding with whatever life threw at me. But living in a building with Robin and Natalie took friendship to another level. And I began to understand what family of choice meant. For us, it meant an open-door policy, so our 2-flat felt like a college dorm. One of my boyfriends during this period, he wasn't so enthusiastic about that, but I sure liked it. It meant entertaining together, traveling together, and lots of other shared experiences, and lots of just hanging around, watching, or in my case, not watching the TV in their house after dinner. And while Robin and Natalie both contributed greatly to this feeling of family, Natalie and I had our special familial connections. We loved to cook together for ourselves, and especially for company. During summer, we had lots of discussions on the best way to grill. Indirect heat? Direct heat? And should sun-dried tomatoes or fresh ones go into a summer pasta chicken salad? And in the wintertime, is it really okay to keep the blended vegetable soup pot outside on the back porch because there's no room in the refrigerator? Well, Ms. Public Health thought no, of course, but as far as I know, neither Robin nor Natalie ever got sick from it. Being a family meant sharing Jewish holidays and integrating each other into the religious traditions we had started before we all had met. And it meant that when I felt I had to leave the synagogue that we had joined as a family due to irreconcilable differences with the rabbi, Natalie and Robin left there also. And together we joined another one, Emmanuel, where we still are. I know that was not an easy move for Natalie, as she, like Robin and I, enjoyed the conservative liturgy at our old shul that we grew up with, and she had a special connection with that rabbi. However, she left there so our family could attend the same synagogue, and we all made a home at Emmanuel. Thank you, Cantor Shelley. Of all the many thoughts I've had about Natalie during the past year and during the years of her decline, two of her characteristics have consistently stood out for me. One is a quality that I recently realized she shared with my father and stepmother. Everything that Natalie did became a story. Life was just made up of one interesting experience after another, and they all made great stories. What a positive approach to life. These experiences could be as simple as seeing an interesting license plate, finding the best chicken Vesuvio, remembering, or not quite remembering, the lyrics to a tune in her head, or as exciting as happening upon a favorite sculpture in Paris. Life was one awesome experience after another. She and Robin were perfect companions for that, and it was wonderful that many of us got to go along for the ride. The other quality is one that Cantor Shelley mentioned at Natalie's funeral. Natalie always tried to understand people's motivations for doing or saying things that were dumb, ill-timed, harmful, or just simply annoying. So forgiving, so open to human foibles. I'm sure this is one characteristic that made Natalie an excellent social worker, but it was difficult to be around sometime. What a model she was of compassion and empathy, and learning how to put on someone else's shoes. Preferably they'd be gym shoes or dance go clogs. I continue to miss Natalie, and I always will. But I am profoundly grateful to have had her as a beloved family member for so long. I know you are resting in peace, Natalie, after a long struggle that no one should have to go through. And for that, I am thankful.
I'm going to read two memories, one from Dennis and one from Rick. I first met Natalie in late 1970s when I was a young social worker in Detroit's inner city Cass Corridor community. I was doing community-based outreach and care management with marginal older adults living in SROs. Many of our clients were dealing with mental health and substance abuse issues, and grooming and hygiene were not a priority for them. For those who had acute medical needs, I often took them to a medical clinic associated with Wayne State University. On one occasion, when I brought an elderly male to the clinic, I was asked by a medical staff person to next time find a different clinic for clients who were self-neglecting in their hygiene. As I was escorting my client out the door, another clinic employee approached me. She told me to disregard what I was told and to keep bringing my clients to the clinic. That was the first time I met Nat, and it said so much about the character of the person that I came to love. When I first met Dennis in 1998, it quickly became clear that being with him was a package deal. In addition to discovering the person who would become my life partner, I was quickly introduced to his tightly knit circle of friends and coworkers. What a blessing it was to have Robin and Natalie become part of my life starting way back then. Over the years, Natalie's sharp sense of humor, her deep well of empathy, and her boundless curiosity and intellect were a reoccurring source of joy and inspiration. She also kept me honest and on my toes. Why do you say that? She would ask. What do you mean? I loved how she didn't settle for pat or superficial observations and opinions. I missed the high-level talks, her dry, wry wit, and her affirmation and support. I also miss her soft hands that I held in her final moments, her ever so slight smile when I'd crack a joke while visiting her at sunrise, and well, I just miss her. I remember and honor her with love as we approach the 1-year anniversary of her passing.
Bruce will read Peter B. Vance's words.
Peter B. Vaughn, not Vance. Just want to make that clear. It's a different Vance.
That's how Natalie referred to him all the time.
Really? Peter B. Vaughn? Peter B. Vaughn. So this is from Peter B. Vaughn. My relationship with Natalie Myra Ross evolved over a period of 58 years, from the time we were graduate social work students, then to community participants for various causes, next as fellow faculty members who launched and built an interdisciplinary ambulatory mental health service in a primary care academic setting, and forever after remained lifelong friends. My wife, children, and I embraced Natalie as family, as she so embraced us. When my daughters were little, they were always excited that Natalie would be there for the decoration of our Christmas tree. Not sure that Natalie was as excited. And she always seemed relieved when the job was completed, and I would inform her that she could take her leave. This is the kind of friend Natalie was. However much she was not into Christmas tree decoration, or Christmas for that matter, the joy of little people who adored her was worth the effort. Every Christmas since the early 70s, we have always hung the Natalie star in a special place on our tree so that we would be reminded of the message of friendship and love that she taught us. I always found Nat to be one of the brightest light bulbs on my chandelier of friendships and professional relationships. This light was apparent in the way she helped clients believe that they were not only worthy, but entitled to the highest quality of professional service available to them, how she helped her peers appreciate each other and value the work they did in the service arenas in which they served, and how she taught and acted on her belief that it is imperative that social work professionals engage in civic, political, and community organizing efforts for poor and disenfranchised people. Her light also shone brightly in the Detroit civil rights movement, the early regional women's movement in southeastern Michigan, the movement for children's rights, and she early on issued a clarion call to clean Belle Isle and Lake Erie as a lover of Detroit and its environs. Natalie was promoting these efforts when they were neither popular nor recognized as worth the time and devotion of a super smart, extremely talented middle-class woman. However, people who were privileged to know her understood that she acted out of love for humanity and commitment to social justice. Because of that, many others joined her in those endeavors. I loved Natalie's wit and humor, even when times were dire. The humor that she and I found in difficult situations sustained us and kept us on track. Above all, I loved her true compassion for humankind, even for people she considered to be idiots and bigots. She was always ready to hear the other side of any story and reevaluate her position if necessary, but she could come down hard when called for on disingenuous individuals and perpetrators of disrespect for difference among us when called for. Anyone who could make a responsible case for their opinion got a second chance with Nat. Recently, I told Robin how much I missed having the political discussions that I enjoyed so much with her. We didn't always agree, but discussion was never verboten. I wonder what words of wisdom Natalie would utter about the struggle of humanity on July 28th, 2024. I miss her. My friend Natalie earned her peace. Peter B. Vaughn.
Blue sky, sunshine, good timing. This is a message from Susan Knight. Jones and I are so sorry we cannot be present for the unveiling and dedication of Natalie Stone. During the unveiling, we will be flying back from the wondrous Yellowstone and Grand Teton National Parks. I thought of Natalie frequently during our hike in the stunning Teton Mountains on Thursday because so many of the characteristics of that experience resonated with what I think of as Natalie's nature. When I gazed at the towering glacier-carved mountain peaks, I thought of Natalie's strength and perseverance throughout her life. The soft winds blowing reminded me of Natalie's gentle nature, her kindness and generosity. The mystery behind the geological formations made me think of Natalie's intellectual curiosity and the desire to seek new experiences. The meadows, dotted with flowers and a rainbow of colors, reminded me of the care which Natalie took in her choices of colorful jewelry, scarves, and earrings. The babbling sound of the brooks and the streams we encountered made me smile, thinking of Natalie's lovely laugh and wittiness. The mother deer with her young fawns nearby made me appreciate Natalie's nurturing nature. The strength of the mountains enduring through the millennia, surrounded by independent flora and fauna, represented the unbreakable bond between Robin and Natalie, and the beautifully woven network of friends and family who comprised and continue to comprise their lovely community. Natalie, memories of you will always be with us, even in remote mountainsides. With love and admiration, Susan Knight.
I'm going to read a note from Jill Churchman, who was a very good friend to Natalie. They met maybe 50 years ago at a train station in France and then continued to travel Europe together. Dear Rob, I woke up this morning crying deep sobs, missing Natalie, missing Natalie's love. Her love was so generous, funny, broad, smart, and at times critically honest, and unconditional and enduring. I especially miss laughing with her. I am grateful for her life and all that she gave me. You, all of us in the world. Because of her, I learned to be generous, to show up, to love travel, to be a parent, to savor food and art. The list goes on. Thank you, Robin, for sharing her all these years. I am forever grateful to you. Hugs and kisses, Jill.
This is a short note from Gail Hoban, Robin's dear friend and Natalie's. So often I talk about Nat. I look at the photo of her I have on my desk, smiling at me, with us. In the words of Sojourner Truth, I am not going to die. I am going home like a shooting star.
I have a few words from Patty. My dear Natasha, I miss your sanguine wit and observations, which always help to ground me. You are my sunshine still.
Is there anyone else who'd like to give a brief reflection?
I'm Naomi, and one of the things that Natalie and I always shared was music. So for Natalie, this is something that I've thought about a lot this last year with her. It is a poem and a song by Hannah Senesh. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we've loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember. יש כוכבים שאורם מגיע ארצה, רק כאשר הם עצמם עבדו ואינם. יש אנשים שזיו זיכרונם מהר, כאשר הם עצמם אינם. עוד בתוכנו אורות אלה המבחיקים וחשת הליל. הם שמרים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. הם שמרים לאדם את הדרך, את הדרך. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember you. Natalie, as we live our days, these are the ways we remember. We remember. Love you, Natalie.
Is there anyone else with a brief remark? No, don't worry. Robin is excellent at organization. But I went, they do, but they, and with love. But I went a bit off script because I thought it was important for Natalie's daughter and granddaughter to have an exalted place here at this service. And I'd like to call your attention to something I've just recently learned, which is that death really isn't the end. And Natalie, the Natalie that lives in your mind, through remembrance, through the conversations that you still have with her, through the song that comes on the radio, the piece of music that you hear that you know she as well loved greatly, or just the flash of the blue sky that Anne so beautifully noted. She's still very much present to us, and yes, not in the way we want, but in the way that is. Julia, would you come forward, and then I'm going to ask you and your mom to remove the veil on Natalie Stone.
Okay, I'm going to read a poem called We Remember Them. At the rising sun and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind and in the chill of the winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of the summer, we remember them. At the rusting of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, and for they are now part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. For as long as we live, they too will live. For they are now a part of us as we remember them.
Robin, will you accompany your daughter and granddaughter to the grave? If it is comfortable, only if it's comfortable for you to rise, would you please do so?
ואם שותים במילים המסעים נוחה נכונה תחת כתפיך השמיים כזוהר כי המזהירים אין נשמע נחמה בת דוד ומינה שכלך הרחמים יסיריה נשיתי כנפיו לעולמים ביתרור החיים את נשמתך אדוני הוא נחלתה וינוח בשלום The passionate God, internal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to our beloved Natalie M. Ross, who has entered eternity. God of mercy, let her find refuge in the shadow of your wings, and let her be bound up in the everlasting life. God is her inheritance. May she rest in peace, and let us all say, Amen. Amen. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yudei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'v'yomachon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'v'zman karim, v'imeru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam u'amei al-maya, yitbarach v'yishtapach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yiramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei d'kodesha, b'rihu, le'ela, minko birchata, v'shirata, tushmechata, v'nahamata, da'amiran be'alma, v'imeru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imeru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mrama, v'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imeru, Amen. Please be seated if you need to be. Oh, say shalom imrama, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael, ve'imeru, amen. Ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'akol Yisrael. Oh, ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, Amen. That was a special request, and I only do Natalie's special requests, so don't you dare ask of me. But whatever Natalie wants. I'm going to invite forward Robin before Adon Olam.
Thank you, Shelley, Cantor Shelley, and thank you all for being here virtually, our virtual friends, and our friends and family who are here. Natalie would be so happy. She's so happy to see her granddaughter getting so tall. Yeah. She would be so upset that you're so much taller than she. And our wonderful daughter and son-in-law who are here. So thank you. Just a little, I want to explain to you why the gravestone is like it is. I don't want you to think I'm cheap. Well, most of you know I'm not. That's a big problem. But in this part of the cemetery, they only allow these flat stones. And I was so upset about it that Joy and I, because Joy and I have plots here too, we were so upset about it that I really, the day after she died, I started mobilizing with them, trying to advocate as, I do in obnoxious ways, but I got nowhere. And so I realized that Natalie had agreed to this plan, and it was in the contract that it would be this kind of stone. So after obsessing for 48 hours, you guys were with me, I finally said, screw it. Let it be. You're the one that chose this, not me. So that's it. I want to just read one little thing. Your absence has gone through me like thread through a needle. Everything I do is stitched with its color. Here's to letting go while still holding on, and knowing my memories of you are warm and sweet forever.
I just have to say that if I have collected a family and friends as Natalie had, my life will be perfect. You are so extraordinary as you hold the memory of her so close. She's with each one of you, and I see her reflected, and I am grateful as you carry her light into the world. You are a blessing because she taught you how to be. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'Terem Kol. Oh, you made handouts. Did you make it? No. Okay. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'Terem Kol, Yetzir Nira, Adon Olam, B'Hafsakol. Hafsakol, I messed up. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Adon Olam, Asher Malach. You think I'd remember this? Terem Kol Yitzir Nirach, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, Terem Kol Yitzir Nirach, Adon Olam. I was told there'd be handouts to my... Not a worry in the world. It's all right. That's all right. We admire all the things you've remembered. Really. Really. Amen to that. Naami bat dov amina. Nachama bat dov amina. May you rest in peace, knowing that you have lived well, and you are remembered and loved and are never very far away. This concludes our service for our beloved Natalie. If you'd like to find a rock, it would be lovely to place one now on her marker.
You want rocks? We got rocks. We got rocks.
I forgot to bring it. Yeah. I should just leave it in my throat. There's never a time Good, thank you.
So everybody take a rock and put it on there, and also notice the flowers and what they're wrapped that you fill us in light.
Who do you think remembered it? Who was it? Miss Golden. Miss Golden.
Yellow is for sunrise.
I have some nice rocks at home, which I brought. Yeah.
I love that she brought rocks.
Yeah.
That's so
great. No, she directed us to find them.
Find the rocks. Does everyone have a rock?
I brought a few from home.
Did we have some people?
Oh, yeah. About 10 or 11 people.
Are they still on?
Yeah, on this side though.
Oh.
You have to go on
Thanks
the
for
other,
coming.
the other side.
Yeah, right. That makes sense. Thanks for coming. Love you all.
Miss technology.
That's why I need you. There's rocks over here too.
All right, I'm going in my car because I can't stand anymore. Okay. All right. Do you need me to do anything? Yeah.
Decided taking a rock off someone else's grave.
Yeah, that's a little inappropriate.
That's why we have a band.
But they have nice swords. How'd you feel? By the way, Nahama, which was her Hebrew name, is one of the words of compassion, and it's the perfect name for her, isn't it? It interestingly comes from the Hebrew word for womb, rachem, and so, which I love, which means there's a connection between compassion and the womb, and you know, it's a lovely metaphor. She certainly did all carry us forward, didn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people allow one who doesn't. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. No, I'm saying, I know you're not like you're saying. Can I say that?
Oh, did your grandparents say, you know, she didn't teach me because they wanted to immerse themselves?
Try it.
No, and I was in a very...
Wait a minute. You know better than me. You've been around me. Hey, I threw down the goblet.
There we go. Good humor. For you.
All right, so translate it for me. I got a couple words.
All your friends and I got it yeah, all like
I felt like Natalie was really addressing role.
Oh, no, don't worry about it.
yes.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing I realized is like,
That's a shame. What's on there? I didn't even have it.
all the memorials are right there. They want to make sure that
I'm proud of you. I wish I
they
had
don't face it.
That is true.
It's my love. All the memorials. So much.
Really? Wow. You don't use
The survivors yeah, so there's a lot of
and baby's the waves. I'm usually the last one, So do you swim?
Well, I should swim a little more. I swim every day, and it's cold. But whatever.
It's a different experience.
What's your favorite?
I think it was chicken well done with fries.
The shell.
Well done fries. I think
Right.
always have fries.
Around my legs.
I do it mostly for pleasure, less, less for exercise. My favorite is
That was my dad. He wouldn't even swim. My dad would lie there, completely calm on his back, in a pool, wherever we were.
I like it too. It's so good for your back. But if you ever want to do an adventure,
Yeah, come meet you. So which is your spot?
it's where the artists and
Yeah, sure. That's
why I like doing it. So there's a place to walk.
Yeah, there's
Right, so
board.
right, so I walk, get in the water. And if I fall,
Yeah, how about that? But in the lake, that's very impressive.
and you know what's my favorite time to swim? Dusk.
Dusk, perfect. Of course, perfect. When I go down there, I don't usually go to Lighthouse, but Northwestern has its own kind of area. And because it's Northwestern's area, there are fewer people there. And it's at dusk.
Off Lincoln, I think.
Right, just to the south of it.
Yeah. Well, I can't.